Here in the UK, running form is rarely discussed in detail or worked upon seriously. I was surprised to see, whilst training in Kenya, how seriously it is taken. From a young age, right through to the pro level. We're going to look at the 3 most common issues I see in runners, Western runners in particular, and how to go about improving them. Treadmill is a brilliant tool to work on form every time you run. Provides instant feedback on how you look without having to look like a poser, staring at your reflection in shop windows, or getting a friend to come out and film you running along. All humans are springs. We all use a natural spring in our body to run, and we can spring better with the correct body position. So, how upright and straight you are determines the effectiveness of your spring. Long, straight body will run better than a crumpled and bent one. A simple way to improve body position, think about your head tied to a helium balloon, pulling you up to the sky. Okay, so number 2, shoulders down. Our arms are the perfect counterbalance to our legs. They work in synchrony with each other. Running is the only full impact endurance sport, unlike swimming, cycling, rowing, cross-country skiing. Runners take the full force of gravity with every step. As we get tired and fatigued, we often start to cringe, try and protect ourselves, which leads to tension in the shoulders and the chest. This prevents us from moving our legs smoothly and it slows us down. Tension can also spread into our neck and breathing apparatus, so we can't breathe properly. Okay, so a great tip to work on this: before you start every run, crunch your shoulders right up to your ears and slowly release them right back down. Take note of that feeling, how good it feels. Hold on to that. Using the front mirror, check in every now and then that your shoulders are down. Have they started to creep up as the run goes on? You can go back to the crunch, release while running to reset yourself. You might need to actively pull your shoulders down and back for a while until it starts to feel more natural. I like to think of an infrared scan of my body where my neck, shoulders and chest are all blue and the core is red. I'm pulling the tension out of my upper body and down into my core. 6 months ago, I turned 40 and obviously my back had to go. It's like standard 40-year-old thing. What happened was I threw my 6-year-old boy into a bunk bed, bang. And 3 weeks, 4 weeks of intense pain. Now it's totally cleared, but I still see my left shoulder just wanting to creep up, trying to protect the area, even though there's no pain there anymore. It's still just a bad habit from that awful period in my life. It's still got remnants in my neural patterns, in my nervous system. So I have to consciously pull that left shoulder down to get it neutral and symmetrical. So the third issue, straight hips. And this is the big one for Western runners, as we spend a large part of our days in a seated position. This has naturally impacted the way we run. An arch in the lower spine, the lumbar region, so we're running in a slightly seated position with shortened hip flexors and hamstrings. This is common in most Western runners, so that probably means you, and leads to a whole cascade of problems. Because we're bent in the middle, we lose much of the body's natural stretch reflex. As our hips are behind, we compensate by overstriding, swinging our legs out in front, which leads to increased braking forces running through the legs and body. As our hip joint is not high enough, we cannot effectively fire from the glutes, the biggest muscle in the body and the powerhouse for runners. So our smaller leg muscles have to compensate and overwork. They fatigue quicker and become susceptible to injury. The best exercise I do to improve in this area is called weighted half squat or invisible chair. I've got my gorgeous thunder thigh Marcus here to help demonstrate. Hi Marcus.
Hello.
Say hi guys. didn't say hi. So, right. I do these markers before and after every run to help activate the hip area. So if you could just stand in front of this box that we have found, you might not have a box, chair, bench, is totally fine. What you want to do is squat down and let your bum just touch onto the box, and without resting on it, stand back up. Now, what you're doing really well there, Marcus, I didn't even tell him, is he's standing and he's tilting his pelvis right up and straight at the end of the movement, and that's really important. That's actually what the whole movement is about. So if you just squat down again and show me an incorrect finish, because you're just too good, it's kind of there. And that's how most of us are running actually. So there's this arch still in the lumbar region. What we need to do is finish off the movement. So he's pulling his pelvis into line, and then the lumbar region you can see is straight. And that is really going to help with this issue that most Westerners display. If you want to pick up the kettlebell, once you're feeling really comfortable and you can do around 20 reps without the weight, you might want to get a weight. This one's 12 kgs, but Marcus is a big guy. You might want to start with like, I don't know, 5 kgs. If you've got little legs like me, it might just be a book. Okay, now squat down again. Now you've got the extra weight, you have to be really careful you don't lose form, and it's that bit, squeezing the pelvis upright at the end of every rep. Try and remember that feeling. That's the feeling you want to bring into your running, that straight hip that Marcus is so expertly demonstrating there. Okay, thanks a lot, Marcus. Put that down, off you go. All right, guys, so try that. Don't expect results straight away. Maybe 4 weeks, maybe a bit longer, you'll start to really get familiar with that position in your hips, and that's the position that you're going to need to bring into your running. Okay guys, in conclusion, be kind to yourself. Running's supposed to be fun, so just enjoy working on these things when and if you have the time. Nobody's perfect, not even me. No, I guess not. We all have our own idiosyncrasies. Maybe try thinking about it for 5 minutes, switching off and just running, listening to the birds for 5 minutes. I like to use a mental checklist that I run through in my brain before and during every run. I've got a small brain, so 3 things are on there. Head tall, shoulders down, hips straight. You do those 3 things, you think about those 3 things on and off, generally your form is going to improve and you're going to eliminate a lot of the bad habits that we pick up over time. So don't expect massive gains overnight. You're not going to look as good as me straight away. It takes time. It took me time. If it looks more classy in the mirrors when you're running past shop windows, it's probably doing you good. So in conclusion, just have a go. Don't kill yourself over it. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you next time.